where you can get your voice heard. We are a community of voice actors who are playing D&D to practice our improvisation and character building skills, and we would love to have you join us. We'll provide some details as to how to get started on that. I can get you started here with a link to our D&D streams page where you are free to book a D&D stream. And then after I do that, we can get started. We're waiting on our game master, Gavin. Those of you tuning in, I see we are getting people from X and Twitch. Here is the link to join. Well, to book a live stream. And yep, that went out. Yes, okay. All right, let's see. Waiting on Gavin here. Anyway. While we wait for Gavin, let me show you guys a little bit. Chris is already familiar with all of this, so I won't show to the Zoom meeting. But this is a bit about who we are. We are Samurai as a Sound. We offer voiceover education and training if you're ready to level up your voice acting career. Under this Learn tab here, we can take a look at our upcoming workshops. We are filling up seats right now for our Tiana Camacho workshop coming up here on Saturday. Tiana Camacho is, of course, known for Cookie Run Kingdom, Pokemon Journeys, and Street Fighter 6. You can dive into the business side of voice acting in this insightful workshop and gain strategies for success. Learn from Tiana's vibrant character portrayals. Don't miss out. You can register for that event using the following link that I will throw in the chat. There you go. Meanwhile, let me check back in with our Zoom meeting here. We are waiting on Gavin, our game master, to join us, and the fun will begin. Check in with him real quick. Oh yeah, there he is. Let me give him a new link here, and he will join us shortly. Okay, I just sent him the link. And let me check in with you guys on our stream. So guys, at any time, feel free to leave comments, suggestions as to what you want to hear in the D&D session itself if you're just watching from home. And of course, you can think about booking a D&D stream of your own using those links. We should get Gavin in here in any minute. Chris, can I just have you test your microphone real quick?
Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Test.
Sorry, keep going.
Mic check. I am talking.
Okay.
Check.
You're going through the stream, just not through my speakers. Oh, I know why. Because I'm not using the right output. Can you try again?
Test. Mic check. 1, 2, 3. Check. I am speaking. Checkity check.
Try my headphones.
Check. We good?
So far, I am not hearing you.
Check. I will.
Aha! You're in my headphones.
Hey, hooray.
And here's Gavin. Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
Yeah, I didn't realize, so I hadn't registered for the event because I was running it.
Oh.
And I'm like, where's my Zoom link? So I registered for it real quick, but I saw your reply. I was like, okay, all right, I'm in.
That's funny.
That's funny. Yeah.
So you said you were just moderating tonight?
Yeah, I'm just moderating. We'll have some other matters to attend to in the background, but we've got people
So is it
tuning
just-
in on
Is it just
Facebook.
me and Chris playing then?
Yep, it'll be you and Chris. We've got people on Facebook watching, Twitch watching, and X, and I will let you know if any of them have comment with their suggestions, and so on and so forth. And we'll run as long as you want up until about 6:20, and then I'll do some more announcement style proceedings.
Okay. That's fine, I guess. Let's split the thing. Am I good to just go into it now?
We are all set.
All right. Okay. So here's my prepared intro then. The air is still and musty in the dark confines of the cabin cellar where you currently find yourselves. Having just discovered an altar of branches at the back of this dirty old cellar, your mind begins to wander to all the possibilities of what this place was used for. A vision of a hunched figure silhouetted by the eerie green glow from within the woods has brought you to this cabin. The drag marks and dried blood trail have guided you to the cellar, and now you stand here examining the haunting mosaic of the Domus Mactabilis, made from stained teeth. What rituals and dark incantations were uttered into the cold air? What twisted magics soaked in and defiled the earth beneath your feet? Where has Captain Dimitri, or rather, just Dimitri, gone? These questions swirl in your minds as a sudden disturbance shakes you from your train of thought. A creak of the floorboards above you sends a cascade of dust down to the floor, and then another creak, and another grow, and something moves slowly across the floor above you and heads in the direction of the trap door. You have only seconds to prepare yourselves for whatever might be coming to you in this cursed place, this sanctuary of the old magics. So, Silverhand, you are down here. Currently, Sergei is to your left, as you've been kind of exploring this place and looking for some signs of missing Captain Dimitri, who kind of wandered off in the middle of the night while you were on watch, dragging his steering wheel from his ship along with him.
Okay. You mentioned was that a god that this altar is dedicated to?
So there is a mosaic. It is of the Domus Mactabilis, which is an image of this cabin that sits on the legs of a chicken.
Okay. Well, so we hear something approaching the cellar door. About how big is this cellar that we're in?
It's relatively large but sparse. So there's not a lot of places to hide, and kind of one way in and one way out. But it spans the entire area of the cabin, just below you, or just below the cabin.
Okay, I see. All right, so there's something approaching us. Silverhand will turn to Sergei, and he'll just quickly say,
If something comes down those stairs, I have an idea, but it'll sort of trap us in here with it if it works.
Gavin, feel free to play as Sergey.
Yeah, sure. He kind of nods. He's like, anything, whatever you must do.
all right, come with me, and I'll guide him to the farthest, far away from the, I guess, stairs, or the trapdoor, far away from that entrance, as far back as we can get, and I will, yeah, I don't know if this thing is hostile or not, so, yeah, okay, I'm going to cast Grease on the entrance leading on the entrance to this cellar.
Okay.
Um,
Perfect. One point of order. You are a gnome. Do you have dark vision?
I do, yes.
Okay, good, because this place currently is not illuminated by anything other than a small torch that Sergei is holding. So, it's a very dark cellar, and it's in the middle of the night. So there's not like sunlight bleeding in from anywhere.
Okay, so I do have dark vision of 60 feet. Does that give me just sort of...
You
big-
can see to the edges of the room. Yeah,
Okay,
it's
so,
shades of gray. So you're not like seeing full color, but yes, you can see.
Okay, so... So Grimble will cast Grease. He'll pull out... how do I want to... how do I want to play with this? Let's see. He pulls out a construct that's kind of in the shape of an elephant on wheels, and he basically just pushes it towards the entrance of the cellar. It sits there, and then it starts spraying grease around itself in a 10-foot square.
All right, perfect. So this little construct spreads the grease around, and you hear kind of like some shuffling and like fidgeting with the it's like a latch handle for this, and what kind of like a little bit of moonlight starts to seep in. You can see like dust particles interrupting the beams of light, and a sort of kind of hunched figure, breathing hard, steps down onto the first step of the stepladder and hits the grease and goes completely tumbling down the stairs. And he's like, "Oh my God! What is this?
Who are you? Who are you?
Oh."
Name yourself, friend or foe?
You see, like, kind of pulls his shirt back over his head, and it's Dimitri, rubbing his head and still clutching his wheel. He's like, "Who is that? I can't. I'll fight you."
Yeah, Captain Dimitri, is that you?
Little gnome guy.
Yes, it's me, Silverhand and Sergei here. Hello, we found you, hooray!
Oh, what's all over these stairs? Why?
Oh,
Why
dear,
am I?
so sorry about that. Here, hold on 1 minute.
And Grimble will push a button on his Tinker Tools, and the elephant lowers its trunk and starts vacuuming up the grease.
Yeah, prestidigitation style.
Basically. I mean, that's not... Yeah, that's just flavor, yeah.
So sorry about that. It was a sort of a grease trap. We weren't sure if you were hostile or not, and I just thought, better to get the drop on them than us. What are you doing out here?
Well, I saw some pretty lights that were floating this direction, so I sort of, I followed them, and I ended up here. But seems you beat me. You beat me here, and whoa, is that a mosaic made out of teeth?
Yes, we're not quite sure what it means. Sergei, did you see those lights at all? I was busy attending to the young sir, but I thought I heard a commotion.
Sergei's gonna recall, kind of inform you that they had, there had been like a matter of some dancing lights. The children that are accompanying you, the refugee children, were rather like interested. They were dancing with these lights, and you kind of surmised that Sergei sort of surmised that they were like ghosts or trapped souls, and even kind of tried to broke one of them with a spell and got rather hurt by that. Like they flew through him and kind of burned him. So So yeah, he'll just kind of recall all that to you, and say, it's like I thought we briefed you, but yeah, you kind of were really busy with Bandionis, I suppose.
Is there any check I can make to maybe shed some more light on what those lights might have been?
If you want to make an Arcana check, just kind of based on his descriptions.
Okay. Arcana check. And I am proficient in that, so let's see. That is an 18.
At an 18, you're pretty familiar with the concept of a will-o-wisp, and you have like, you maybe have never like encountered them in person, but you've read about them in your studies, and they typically haunt places where their souls left their bodies, and they sort of wander and look for, try to find their bodies, and kind of just get stuck in this, like, in between the real world and the spirit world, and often come out during the witching hour, which it currently is right now. All three of the moons are in their highest position.
Okay. As Sergei is describing those things, Grimble just kind of has a little notepad out, and he's taking notes.
I see, little lights. Yes, I believe some call them will-o-wisps, and I believe they're rumored to be spirits of the dead. You don't think this cabin has anything to do with that, do you?
It's possible. I'm getting bad vibes. Divinius definitely does not like this place. It's tainted.
Can I go up and inspect the altar a little bit more closely now that there's no imminent danger?
Yeah. Yes. There is one piece of one item on the altar that wasn't described just to you now. I can pull it up here. There is a wand that's made of twisted bodock.
Twisted bodock. That's a plant or a tree?
So yes, it's a type of wood. It's the wood of the mind.
Okay. I motioned for Sergei to bring the torch closer, just so he and Captain Dimitri can get a closer look.
What is this? This almost looks like a wand of some kind of wood. I'm afraid I'm not familiar with this kind of item.
So, Dimitri kind of peeks at it. Wizard stuff. I don't like it.
Ooh, wizards, you say? As in magic users?
Well, I mean, yeah, you're one of them too, don't you? You and Sergei both. You casting spells.
Oh well, my quote unquote spells are more rooted in the mechanical and engineering side of things. But yes, to you surface dwellers, it often looks like magic, quite miraculous, I might say. You don't suppose it's safe to touch, do you? And Gribble's hand is like slowly just sort of making little grabby motions towards it. He's very fascinated.
Yeah, I mean, Dimitri kind of just gives you a shrug. You know more than me. And Sergei kind of like takes a step back, kind of rubs the chill away from his arms. But leaves it up to you.
Well, very well, for the sake of science.
And he grabs the wand.
Okay. You pick it up. You feel it feels good in your hand. There's definitely like a magical force to it. But like it feels familiar, like there's a strong pull towards you with this wand in your hand, and kind of gives you like this almost powerful feeling.
Oh, I must say, I'm positively brimming with energy. How do you use this thing?
Sergey says, "Point and shoot, I suppose."
Very well. And I'll. Is there kind of just a random. Is there like a box or
There's a let's say there's a bucket of ice water kind of in one corner.
Okay. Grimble will give a little swish and flick of the wand pointed towards the bucket and say, Magic happen, please!
Um, you do you do so, and a like an arc of lightning travels from the wand to the bucket and kind of zaps the bucket, and sort of water and maybe a mix of some sort of human bodily fluids kind of disperses all over the floor, and the lightning is just like sparking and connects you to this bucket.
Oh, so there's an arc of lightning attaching the
Yes.
wand to the bucket.
Yeah.
Oh my, this is marvelous! Well, the contents of the bucket aside, this almost reminds me of a tractor beam. And he'll basically, as if he's conducting the bucket, he'll point it up towards the ceiling and see what happens.
Yeah. The There doesn't seem to be like enough energy to pull the bucket very hard, very far or hard. It doesn't seem like that's kind of the function of the spell, but it does come up a little bit off the ground, just
Okay.
the energy of it.
And it doesn't look like the bucket was damaged at all.
I mean, it's certainly got some scoring on it.
Okay. Oh my, perhaps not a tractor beam, but perhaps some kind of laser. And as he's saying all this, he's taking vigorous notes. Oh, this requires so much more study. You two don't mind if I hold on to this, do you?
Uh, Dimitri's like, as long as I get to keep my wheel, I don't mind at all.
Oh,
And
don't worry, I won't be taking that from you. That's
yeah,
yours.
and Sergei's like, uh, a mysterious wand on a cursed altar in a dark cabin in the woods seems suspicious, but if you want to take the fall on this one, Silverhand, it's up to you.
Oh, of course, there can be no advancement without a small bit of risk. And besides, I've handled my fair share of volatile components before. I'm sure I'll be just fine. And I guess he cancels the spell? He's not all too sure what's happening, but he'll basically
Sure.
just will the wand to turn off.
Yeah. Yeah. The lightning disappears. There's a little bit of smoke coming off of the end of it, and you're able to stow it.
Okay. Well, as fascinating as this is, now that we found our missing Dimitri, I suggest we maybe explore a bit more, but probably head back. I sure don't want to be out and about for the nasty beasties to come get us.
Yep, sounds good to me.
And we'll, yeah, so Grimble Silverhand will lead them up and out of the cellar.
Okay. Yeah, so you're back into the cabin proper. I described this place as being kind of just really run down, dust everywhere, coating everything. It was meager when it was fully, lived in. Um, Very kind of simple furniture, for function over form, and there's kind of like snow caking both sides of the back kitchen door where you entered,
Mhm.
and you pass by again as you go to leave the pot on the stove that is filled with a frozen slushy of human parts,
Hmm.
a hand kind of sticking up, covered in frost.
Actually, hold on one moment. There's something I want to investigate. And as they're kind of standing at the entrance of the doorway, Silverhand will just kind of give a cursory glance around. So, what we saw down there was a little picture of a house with chicken legs. You don't suppose it's talking about this house, do you? And I just wanna take a quick look to see if there are any chicken-like footprints in the snow.
Sure. Yeah, you can give me an investigation check.
Investigation. A 14.
14. There doesn't appear to be. You kind of inspect around the frame of the house as well, where the foundation is, and you realize, I mean, this thing has a cellar. It's below ground level.
Mhm.
And yeah, it seems like this cabin's been here a long time, probably pretty stationary.
Well, no chicken legs here. I suppose it's safe to move on. It's very peculiar, though. And that was so. The whole point of coming out here was to find Dimitri, right?
Yes, that was primarily
Okay.
the cause for concern. There was, um, you guys were kind of concerned about the children and these like glowing lights, and that there might be something uh, out here that
Mhm.
could be a danger. Um, and you saw this kind of hunched figure in a vision um, from this direction. So you kind of you haven't found any evidence that it's around, um, and you have Dimitri. So I,
Mhm.
I I would say your objectives are completed, unless you wanted to explore any further.
I mean, on the way back, I'll just make conversation with Captain Dimitri.
So, Captain Dimitri, you said you followed a strange glowing light out here, yes?
Yeah. Um, there was one that was, you know, um, drifting from tree to tree, and Dimitri's voice continues to change. It's like yeah, a little bit more in the mood. Sorry. Um, and it looked like the ones that what the kids were playing with, but this one kind of led me here. It's weird.
Interesting. You didn't. Did you see anything? Did you have sort of a vision inside your head, or did you touch it at all?
No, got close to touching it once. It was pretty warm. Um, that felt good for about a second until it kind of singed my fingers.
I, s-
But yeah,
I see.
I was pretty drunk when I came out here, so I don't recall anything specific.
Oh, well, given our other eyewitness accounts of these flames, of these will-o'-wisps, I'm fairly certain it was not any sort of fabrication of your drunkenness, although it's very interesting that it was tangible heat. Normally, I mean, from what I've studied, normally ethereal beings and those of the dead are generally described as cold.
Sergey's like, well, I don't know about that. I still have the burns to prove it.
Oh dear. You don't think they were trying to show us something by they 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 led you to the cabin, you said. I don't know anything about a house with chicken legs, but I can only assume it must have been important to someone.
Yeah, I'm. This is the most I've explored this island. I usually just drop people off at the port, have a couple drinks at the tavern, and then make my way back.
I see. Well, I say we accomplished what we set out to do, Sergey. We might as well make for port with all haste.
I could agree with that. And you guys return to camp. You're reunited with Estelle, Orden, Piotr, Dari, Melody, Torben, Sven, and Van Dionis. Those are the named people. There's also a handful of sailors who look rather relieved to see Captain Dimitri and kind of go over and greet him, pat him on the back to make sure he's okay. Orden has a torch in his hands. He's one of the parents.
Mhm.
So there's a mom and a dad, Orden and Estelle, and then they have 4 kids: Dari, Melody, Torben, and Sven. Piotr is the grandfather, and he's kind of a crotchety older guy. So yeah, Orden, he has a torch in his hands. He kind of looks a little bit anxious, and when you arrive, he looks relieved. The Van Dionis is conscious as well. He's sitting upright, kind of leaning against a tree, and he has a silver short sword kind of drawn on his across his lap. So he looks like he's ready for a fight, despite his current condition, despite his current illness affliction. And Orin says, "Thank goodness you found Dimitri. We were worried it was getting late."
Yes, no, we were able to find him quite easily. I might add, he actually found us. There's this odd cabin out there in the woods, kind of abandoned, abandoned, nothing more. And we searched inside an old cellar. Doesn't seem to be that extraordinary. Um,
You didn't happen to see or hear any wolves when you were out there, did you?
Goodness, wolves! I don't think so. The only thing we heard was what was apparently the captain up above us. But other than that, I don't think we heard any wolves. Did we, Sergey?
Not that I heard.
Yes. So we seem to be quite safe for the time being, as safe as the wilderness can be. If you'll excuse me, and he hurries off to Van Dionis's side. Young sir, please don't strain yourself. You're still very much afflicted with something that does seem to be healing. Please, take your rest. Take all the time you need. No need to push yourself. We will handle things.
Oh, Grimble, I've been asleep for like a day and a half. I don't need more rest. I need to get up, stretch, and fight something.
Oh dear. Well, sorry to say, there's nothing around here to fight. But certainly. Let me help you up, and he'll just help Van Dionis up to his feet.
All right, so you know he's kind of leaning. You're a gnome, and he's a very tall kid, so he's kind of like got his hand perched on your head, and is sort of like leaning on you. Um, a position you're used to. And this guy kind of gets up, stretches his sword arm, gives it a couple swings, and winces. I should probably put this away. Stows it.
Yes, please be careful. Take your time. I know you just woke up, but there's no need to push yourself, no need to strain yourself. Just take it one step at a time.
Sure, Grimby. I'll do that. Orden wasn't kidding though. We haven't stopped hearing the wolves since you guys left. They're kind of far off. It sounds like they might not be in the woods, but yeah, it's got everyone on edge.
I wonder if I might be able to do something about that. And he gets a little mischievous grin. He pulls out his tinker tools, which he carries on his back in kind of this metal box. It basically folds out into a standing desk with all these strange, spindly mechanical arms just kind of ready to work. So with my magical tinkering, it says I can imbue a non-magical item with a magical property of my choice. My idea was to, well, I wonder if Grimble would know this. I mean, it's fairly common knowledge that wolves mark their territory with their urine, right? Like,
Yeah. I mean, you could. I suppose you could make a survival check to see that, but it's probably pretty common knowledge.
Okay. I guess the next question is, if I if I use my tinker tools to imbue a non-magical object that emits the odor of wolf urine, is that something I'd be able to do?
Um, I mean, is there a check required on your Tinker tools?
It just takes an action. I can have up to 3 objects imbued this way. I don't.
Then why don't we roll plus your proficiency to see how effective it is? So I'm not going to say you can't do it. It's just going to be, your ability will depend on will make it good or just medium.
Right. Yeah, it doesn't say. It doesn't say a specific role, but here goes.
Yeah, I mean, I know that like thieves' tools require like a roll to use and things like that. So it's probably a tool that you have to roll for, but it's not going to fail. It's just going to be good or eh.
Right. To make using the tools in your. Okay. So you just said D20 plus proficiency.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how good this is. That's a oh, that's a soft 20. Okay.
All right. So what objects are you imbuing?
Grimble will take a little time to construct yeah, let's just say he constructs a little wolf a little wolf construct, and it will yeah, let's just say it'll run around our little camp um emitting the scent of wolf urine.
Yeah. Okay. So this little wolf construct, kind of like what like this size, just like a football size.
Uh, let's say half a football.
Okay. All right. Softball sized little
Softball,
wolf
sure.
construct. Starts running around and starts peeing on trees. And emits this odor.
Well, even if the wolves are fairly far off and we won't see them tonight, at least we know now that not to mess with us. Now they know there's someone in their territory who has marked it as theirs.
Bandios, it's like, oh man, I've missed this. You and your gadgets. It's always a good time.
Oh yes. Speaking of you, I don't know if you remember, but apparently you were on the same ship that we were coming here. You don't remember how you got there, do you? The last and he gets a little inward in this, and he says the last time I saw you was nearly 2 years ago. How did you manage to come onto that ship?
And he's just, well, I remember there was a battle. We were in a pass near the Hergeshi front. And we had heard about an orc commander that was pretty nasty. So we were guarding the village, protecting the people with this pass. Only way in, only way out. And father was there, leading the fight. And
if he's all right,
they caught us by surprise. Some of them were hiding in the village, and before we knew it, we were being attacked from 2 fronts. I lost him in the fighting. I don't know. It's fuzzy. I don't know what happened after that. And then flashes I'm on a cart, and then I hear talking soldiers, members of my unit, and then a woman's voice. She was trying to heal me, and then I woke up and you were there on the ship. I
Grimple.
think I think I got taken from the front. Um, led to I heard bits and pieces about a special healer in Redemption.
Yes, I believe. Well, I'm not sure about any specific healer, but wait a minute. Where is that woman? Did that woman come with us? Was she at all
She,
there?
if you will recall, um, she was killed in the attack on the boat. When that slicing, you know, tool that the other one of the other boarding ships ran across the side of the boat and the water flooded it, she was just like sucked out. Um, so yeah, you never really saw that happen, but you can kind of infer she was below deck. It struck right where she was kind of around, and the force of the water would have pulled her out.
Yeah, as Grimble looks around, trying to find that woman, realizes she's not there, and then puts that information together in his head. He says,
Oh dear. Well, it seems like our only clue as to who this healer might be is no longer with us. But it's very peculiar. I tried to use some of my healing capabilities on you, and it didn't seem to work. Do you know how you got this horrible gash on your chest?
There was a Yeah, it was in the battle that there was the that orc commander. Why can't I remember his name? He had a sword, black as black as obsidian, and something swirled around it, some sort of magical energy. Nothing like, what you taught me when I was young. And he must have struck me with it. I don't remember the fight much. I squared off against him. Um, I was trying to protect. It attacked a house, and there was um, people inside, young, maybe children.
"Hmm,
Um, oh gosh, I don't know what happened to them.
Curious. Well, in any case, I'm happy to see you again, and I'm I'm sorry for what has happened to you and for the atrocities you must have witnessed. I just hope that, well, I hope you get better soon.
I will. I've got you watching over me, right?
Oh, yes, sir, and I shall watch over you forevermore.
And Grimble, all this time has kind of been a bit standoffish, just kind of observing the decorum. But at this moment, he'll rush up and hug Vandionus's leg.
It's like, hey, there, buddy. I'll be okay. Uh, yeah, anytime I got into trouble when I was a kid, you were there to pull me out of it. It's no different. I'm just 5 feet taller than you now.
Oh, yes, yes, indeed. There is so many wonderful memories, also some very unpleasant ones at your hands, but that's all in the past now. I'm so
Uh,
glad you're back with us.
yeah, good, good to be back. Are we staying here tonight?
I suppose, well, now that you mention it, it is rather dark and cold. But honestly, I think, well, I'm not sure what to think. Captain Sergey, do you think now would be best for a rest, or should we try and reach redemption is the port town we're going to, right?
Yes. Yes.
Or do you think we should reach redemption as soon as we can?
Dimitri says, "Well, according to the map, it looks like we have more like a day's walk to town. If we are, I think we are anyway. Kind of looks up at the sky. Well, looks like I'm gonna hold on a second. Looks like Arnis is setting, which means that Bello and Shinty won't be far behind. So I don't know. These people look shook. Maybe it's best if we vamoose.
Very well. I just hope that we're not too worn out by the time we arrive. But certainly, if that's your call, Captain, then I believe we should follow it.
He kind of just like looks a little downtrodden. He says, "Well, I don't hold no special authority anymore. I'm just Dimitri. I ain't a captain. Captains have a ship. Well, you see what sort of state the curmudgeon was in when we left it.
In my opinion, Captain Dmitri, one is not captain because he captains a ship. One is captain because he acts like one regardless of whether or not he has a ship. And right now, you are the one who knows the most about these lands, about the most of where we're going. You've sailed to and from Redemption countless times, I'm assuming, and I can think of no better authority to guide us along the way.
Thanks, little gnome guy. Man, that really feels good.
Don't worry, I'm sure you'll find a better, more sturdy ship in due time. Trust me, a man of the sea does not leave the sea behind for long.
He's got to like rub the eyes. Okay, everybody, we're moving out, and kind of like lifts his wheel up and kind of points it forward. and all the other sailors are like, "Sir, yes, sir."
And he'll just give a little nod. Just nice to see him back in spirits, and he'll help the let's see. Yeah, you know what? He'll pull out his flashlight that he has on him. That's like another little tinker tool. But he'll pull out his flashlight just to help the other survivors. This is particularly the kids and the grandpa, just to make sure they're keeping up with us and they're watching where they're going.
Yeah, Piotr's like, "Oh, more walking. My bones can't handle all this walking."
I assure you, sir, it's only about maybe another day at best, and then you'll find a nice warm tavern and be able to lift your feet up and while the hours away.
Oh, well, it better be as you say. I shouldn't be out here in this. I'll catch the death of me.
Yeah.
Kind of hobbles off. You see a couple of the sailors have coaxed Van Dionis back onto his sort of gurdy and are kind of dragging him across the ground again. And he looks defeated. He's like, "I feel like an invalid."
Oh, not at all, sir. It's like I said, one step at a time, and we don't know the extent of your affliction, so I would much rather have you faint and not bang your head.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you guys take off. You make it back to the edge of the wood, just a few minutes, and start heading off in the south to the southwest, which is where Dimitri is like 80% certain you'll find redemption. Um, and you march forward. It's a frigid tundra. It's dark, just lit by the torches and things. So you're going slow because the old guy's having a hard time keeping up. The kids, you want to keep them close to where like you can you can still see them with the torchlight. Um, and after a spell, the two moons, the trailing moons, Shenty finally sets in the south, and the sun begins to rise, uh, and starts to cast like this glow over the snow. And you notice like this frigid, cold tundra, as desolate as it is, there's a beauty to it too, as the sun's rays cast a twinkle over the permafrost here, and you can watch sort of wind kick up and send this like glittery dust in rivulets all over the tundra. And it's about the sun is like right in your eyes as you like stop to hear something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all this time Grimble has not left Vandionis' side, and as he, I guess, who would be the first to notice this sound?
I think the children are like chit chatting. They're still talking about the lights. They were rather like just infatuated with them. And so that's the kind of conversation. It's like, do you think we'll ever get to go back and see them again? And the parents are like, no, we're not going back there. That's dangerous. It's scary. You don't want to be back there. And it's like, oh man, I want to. And
To your parents, children.
you see Vandionis is kind of smiling, listening to them. And then one of his like Gith ears perks up, and he kind of looks at you with a grim disposition.
Young sir, is everything all right?
Something doesn't feel right.
Could I possibly try a perception check?
Sure.
11.
An 11. You perceive nothing yet. There's like it's still, it's very quiet aside from the the children, of course, and your party just kind of trudging through the snow. But like even the wind has stopped. And it kind of sits still. The world is just sort of silent. So yeah, there's the absence of something to perceive.
Right.
It's more like what you're getting right now.
Yes, it certainly does feel very still. I don't see anything amiss. Did you hear something?
And he says, I'm a warrior, right? This feels like the calm before the storm. And as soon as he says that, you see one of the sailors kind of up towards the front, like, reaches up and grabs his head, and like, he's like, "Ow! Who threw that?" Kind of looks at his hand. He's got a little bit of blood on his hand from a wound starting to form on his head. And everybody starts looking around, and then like from all directions it seems, you start getting pelted with stones.
Ow! bollocks! What is going on? Who's throwing things?
And if you'd like to, make another investigation check or perception check, this time I'll give you advantage. There's definitely something to perceive now.
Definitely. Let's see. Which one's better? Oh, my investigation's better. Yeah. I'll try investigation with advantage. That will be a soft 21.
Okay. With a 21, you see kind of like from snowy embankments, almost like imperceptible to you, like a kind of white furry head peeks up over the embankment and shoots a slingshot um your direction, just kind of narrowly missing you as you uh you know perceive it in time to dodge. um and it's not alone. There are like six or more of these creatures kind of surrounding you, pelting you with stones. And I think it's a good time to roll that initiative.
Hey, initiative. All right, here we go. Initiative. Ooh, not great. That is a 6. That is a 6.
Oh, good. All right, so I'm going to have sorry, I should have pre-written this.
That's all good.
Uh, oh, and then is involved in this. Sergey is involved in this. I'm just gonna kind of have Sergey do like a simplified sort of thing.
Yep.
He will act last. All right, so Van Dionis is up first from his seated position. You see him like kind of reach down into this almost, he's kind of like in a in almost like a sleeping bag, that's just kind of keep tucking his legs in, but his arms are free. And so he starts like digging around and he pulls the short sword and he's like trying to get a good grip on it, and then pulls it and he's like, "Oh yeah, come at me."
Grimble looks very concerned, and just as a quick, just as a quick thing, he says,
Young sir, if I might make a suggestion, I don't mean to tell you how to do your job, but I wouldn't recommend jumping in amongst them. They would have you outnumbered quite quickly.
Outnumbered but not outmatched. Old Grimby, you know how I fight.
Oh, I do, and that's what has me worried.
He's gonna like, cut his way out of his like um of his sleeping bag prison, and like stand and kind of look to the left and to the right, decide which group he's going to chase after, uh, and then he's going to make a beeline for the group on the left, and won't quite reach them. They're like 60 yards out, or 60 feet out, kind of pelting you with stones. But he's gonna approach the group on the left to attack them with his sword.
right.
And then it is their turn, because they got a surprisey round on you. Now they're just gonna go like normal. And let's see. Not rolling super the best. Okay, that's a good one. So the group on the left, kind of like they see Van Jonas come charging at them with sword drawn. Kind of, he gives a Gith battle cry, and you hear them go ah, and kind of like scatter a little bit, trying to figure out what to do. The group on the left, though, that hasn't been kind of pinned down yet, is going to release a volley. And two of them will sort of aim at the center of the group. One misses you, one misses Captain Dimitri. One will strike and hit a sailor in the forehead, and he falls to the ground. And he doesn't look like he's getting up. He's either dazed, unconscious, or something worse.
Okay.
And so that is their turn. Grimble, you are up.
Okay. So there's basically two groups, one on the right, one on the left. Are they like uphill of us?
They are downhill of you, because you were kind of like you were sort of at the top of a snow embankment, and they are like in trenches along both sides, waiting for you.
So, okay. So we're at like the top of the embankment. Okay. Grimble will well, for starters, Grimble will just call out to the non-combatants.
Everyone, please duck behind the embankment. They shouldn't be able to hit you as easily from there.
Ooh boy, what can I do? 60 feet out. I mean, the range on a crossbow is 80 to 320.
Yeah.
Does that mean it's yeah?
So within 80 feet, you attack as normal. Up past that, up to 320 feet, you attack with disadvantage.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes, in that case, all right. So he'll tell all the non-combatants to get behind him, get low, basically. And you know what? He'll. Is there a good head count per group that we can see, or are they still concealed?
They're somewhat concealed. They are like kind of naturally camouflaged by the snow. But because you had a really good sort of investigation roll, you can kind of suss out there maybe 3 in each group on both sides of you. There might be more, but you haven't seen them.
Right. In that case, all right. In that case, Grimble will, there. Okay, he'll take his full movement just to kind of center himself between the two groups. Kind of just making a triangle from him to either group, and he will fire a crossbow bolt at the group that Van Dionis is not targeting. So I guess
Okay.
on the right?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Or the left. I think I said he was going after the right.
okay, so he's going right. I will aim left. Okay. Crossbow bolt. That is a 16 to hit.
Okay, that's gonna hit.
It's gonna hit, and then damage is this plus that. That is 8 damage.
8. Okay. Yeah, you see, you loose your crossbow down the snow embankment into the body of one of these creatures, and it kind of lets out a yelp and ducks down.
Mm-hmm. Is it obvious if it's dead or not?
It's not obvious.
Okay. That's. I mean, for bonus action, I don't think I have anything. Yeah. That's turn.
Okay. Then I'm going to move on to the sailors. There's currently 4 of them, still kicking, and they are going to split. 2 will follow after Vandianus, brandishing, you know, their like knives, and a couple of them have bows, short bows,
Mhm.
and just kind of attack the 2 groups. You see the group of refugees sort of run ahead, trying to find cover,
Mhm.
and you're sort of like distracted by everything going on, and then you hear Estelle let out like a scream, um, and you kind of retrain to see what she's looking at, and a large like furry white creature with big horns towers over the group of them. Um, he's got big claws, and it's like snow is kind of coming off uh, as he's just emerged from the ground.
Mhm. Okay. Big furry creature with horns. And our other assailants are also like furry, right? You said that?
Yeah, but they're much smaller than this one. They're
Okay.
about roughly your size.
All right. Okay.
The sailors, I didn't roll attack rolls for them. Let's do that. That's gonna be 1 miss and 1 hit. Um, so one of the creatures on the right side is going to die from stab wounds. As a sailor kind of picks it up, and it's squirming and But yes, the other ones are still very much alive and kicking.
All right.
And it is Sergei's turn. So he is going to kind of pull out his. I think he has a mace. I want to say, because diviners do not wield bladed weapons. They primarily uh, disarm or uh, disable sentient opponents. Um,
Mhm.
Killing is forbidden unless it's a beast or non-sentient creature. And so Sergei is gonna kind of like call to Divinius, say a prayer, and then kind of charge at this large creature that has attacked the village or the refugees.
Mhm.
And he is able to make it there. He's going to go and swing with his mace, and will hit and deal, let's see, 8 damage. Okay. That is him. We're going to go back up to the top of the order. Vandianus has reached one of his opponents, and uh, is too sort of he goes like a big arc to swing, and kind of like winces hard as like it pulls the muscle near his wound, um, and the creature sees him kind of stutter and dodges out of the way. All right, and then they are going to act. Let's see, I have 2 on each side still, not taking damage. Here. These are the 2 that are on the left. Oop. Wow. They're really not doing well to try to hit you with their slings.
Okay. No, I'm fine with that. No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
no. I figured you would be. Um, the one on the right, though, One of them is going to miss Vandionis. The other one is going to hit another sailor. So they are down to just 3. Did I say 4 before?
I think you said two split to either
Yeah.
group.
So yes, there's 3 sailors left
Okay.
standing.
Okay. Dimitri, is he with the kids? He's with the refugees?
Dimitri is yes.
Okay.
Yes, he's with the refugees. He's kind of like trying to keep them, put together.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's still a little drunk. Hasn't quite sobered up yet, so
We still got
not
that.
effective as a fighter, but he's doing his best out there. And it will be the big creature's turn.
Okay.
Um,
Oh my god.
who is going to strike at Sergey a couple of times.
Oh, a couple of
And
times. Good.
yeah, 2 big claw attacks.
Uh,
And Sergey's able to get kind of a block with his mace on the first strike. The second one will hit him though, and deal him 4 damage. So if I'm remembering correctly, he's probably down about half.
mm-hmm.
And it just kind of lets out like a big roar as it does so.
Yeah.
Okay, Grimble, you are go.
I am go. I mean, I'm picturing the big creature. Is that cave monster from Star Wars that Luke encounters?
Yeah, pretty reminiscent
And I'm
of
just,
Cave Monster from Star Wars.
and in my head, Grimble's just going, "Use the Force, Sergey!" But no, that's not a thing.
Yeah, that'd be a Wampa.
Wampa. All right. Do we have any tauntauns we can throw it to distract it?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it looks like this.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's just a big Yeti. Cool. All right. Okay. So we've got. So we got. Okay, so Van Dionis and 1 sailor are at the right,
Mm-hmm.
and then we've got myself and 2 sailors going for the left.
Yep.
Okay.
And Sergey's holding you up at the front,
Yep.
defending on his own against this big thing.
Yep. That's what has me worried. Since I walked out 25 feet just to get just to get a vantage point, is that about how far away is the group and the monster?
Probably about 50.
Okay. So, I mean, I mean, 50, huh? Well, that would
50.
50. So 50 from the monster and about like 45 from the trenches.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can do this. Bonus actions and 2-weapon fighting. You can take the action and attack with a light weapon. 1 extra attack must be made with a different light weapon. Oh, I see. Oh, so I couldn't like throw 2 daggers, could I?
No, those are. I believe a 2-weapon fighting has to be melee, if I'm correct.
Oh, it has to be melee. Okay. Okay. Well, that complicates things. Okay. Grimble's kind of just panicking, looking between the trenches and the big monster that just popped up, and he'll just give a quick glance to the sailors.
I'm putting you in charge of taking out the rest of those in the embankments, please.
And he will turn around, aim his crossbow to the monster, and take a shot.
All right.
All right. And to hit is a 19.
19 will hit.
Good. Okay.
It's a big, large thing.
big
wearing no
monster.
armor.
Is a big monster. And damage is 7 points of damage.
7 points of damage. Okay. Hey, everything helps.
Yeah, everything helps. I mean, I did have an idea to throw a magically imbued object towards the trenches, just with the intention of either distracting them or scaring them. Would you allow that as a bonus action?
I really think since you've switched kind of focus, you've taken the attack action to ready your crossbow and get a shot off. That's where your focus is.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
You can yell. That's a free action.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'll just. Yeah, I'll yell to the sailors to keep going towards our ambushers. And that's it. That's all I got.
All right. Okay. They are up immediately after you, so
Okay, go get
they
it, guys.
they're going to attempt to kill these other two. Okay. One of them will be unsuccessful. The other is going to fire a short bow at a charging little creature. This thing has like a hand axe in its hand, and it's like, it's sprung from the embankment and is charging this guy. And he's, one short bow arrow sails through and sticks it firm in the chest, pinning it to the ground. And it's kind of like, trying to get up, trying to move, but after a second, stops.
All right. I guess Grimble, focused on the monster, wouldn't see this, but are they basically just mini versions of this big beast?
They are not. They appear to be. They've sort of got like this bare face, like a naked face. Very sort of veiny and blue skin, like almost frostbitten a little bit. And they also have like kind of these like lidless little beady eyes, and then have like these manes of white fur that kind of surround their face. But they are wearing clothes.
Okay.
So they've got like, kind of like furs and other things, white furs to sort of hide because this was an ambushing party.
Right.
But yeah, they do have like little clothes on. And the other thing that you notice about all of them, including the big creature, is that they have some sort of glowing mark on them somewhere. It glows like a blue color. You haven't gotten close enough yet to examine what that mark might be.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
And okay, so that was the two sailors on the one side. The one that's fighting with Bandianus is, yeah, he's gonna slay another of these creatures on the right hand side. So there, presumably there's two left, one on each side.
Cool.
There's the one that's like dueling Bandionis currently, and then there's one still on the side you were attacking. Okay. And it is Sergei's turn. What would Sergei do in this moment? Try to think about his spells. And if Austin is got the character sheet up in front of him, he might be able to help me out with that. He's giving me the finger.
Yeah.
Yes, I do. That was supposed to be 1 second, not like
Yeah.
chastising you.
Don't
Uh,
bother me.
let's see here. There is a way to share these, right?
I believe so. Yeah, you can just send the link.
Yeah, you can put it in the chat.
That's true. I always forget Zoom has a chat. It's just so nonchalantly out of the way.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of workshops and people use them just to like share files and stuff.
Just so used to Discord, I used it with my podcast too. So, and then my job uses Teams, Microsoft Teams.
Oh, okay. Writing team that uses Asana, which is interesting, and I guess for company wide, it might be.
Oh, we use Asana too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
stream is brought to you by Asana.
I'm gonna see if this shareable link works.
Boom.
Look at that. It's
Boom.
got some formatting. How fancy.
Yeah, look at me. All right. Okay. So I need to view spells. Spellies. Cool. I think that he would, in this moment, use his big one, his big old spell, his guiding bolt. This is a big enemy. So that is. Oh, that's not guiding bolt. That's guiding bolt. Range spell attack. Okay. I wish that they would show all of the things, like what's your spell attack modifier is while I'm doing this. 17 is going to be good enough without knowing what the spell attack modifier is.
Good.
So that hits the creature's AC. Okay. And I need 4 of these little guys. 4 of these sixes.
Damage.
Big money, no whammy. Let's see. 9, that is 14.
Hey, big damage.
14 damage from a guiding bolt. As Sergei's like, you will not hurt these people or me. Yeah. Okay. A little bit of math. Never hurt nobody.
Double digits.
Yeah, we are. We're in double-digit territories for sure.
Meanwhile,
Okay.
we're like also in single digits. That's nice.
Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be fun if the enemies weren't stronger than you, right?
True enough. But I mean, like, you know, maybe avoid triple digits.
Oh, sure. What? At level 1, you should be at least fighting
Level
young
1.
dragons. I'm just saying.
Yeah, we can take on a dragon with my grease.
Listen, if you're inventive, you can take on anything.
I throw the grease at the dragon just as it's about to fire fire breath. There we go.
Yeah, explodes in its face, blinds it for forever. All right, so that was Sergei's turn. This it smacks into this creature, and it lets out like a howl, and the mark on him kind of glows brighter, and you see him kind of like stretch and you could swear like his muscles surge, and he gets like this like look in his eyes, this sort of death madness. I don't know. And yeah, that's a word that makes sense. You know what I mean.
Yeah, he's staring daggers. He's got.
He's got the blood in his eyes. All right, and we will return to the top of the order. Let's see if Vandionis can dispatch the creature he is battling. No.
Oh, come.
He very much rolls a bad roll. This thing is dancing around him like, he's a statue. And they're small and they're spry, and he's tall and lanky and wounded, and is not prepared for this fight. It's like, would you just stop so I can kill you?
Aim for where it's going, not for where it's at.
I know. What are you, my dad?
I mean, oh.
All right. And it's the creature, the little creature's turns. Let's see, one of them. They're actually going to both take a break from the people that they are currently battling, and both aim slings at Sergei.
Oh no.
What am my AC at? Gosh, I minimized it. Where is it? Oh, there it is. It's Edge. I never use Edge. Nope, that's not the one. There we go. Armor class 10. Oh, yeah, that hits. Okay. Yeah, I forgot Sergei doesn't have the best armor class.
It's a little squishy, just a little squishy.
Just a little. He will take 3 points of damage from a sling, and he is down to 1.
Okay.
And Rebel.
All right. Okay. All right. Sergei's looking rough. Vandionis and Sailor are handling one, and then 2 sailors are handling the other 2. Is that correct?
There is only 1 left on each side.
Okay. Is looking at the dash action. But it is an action.
Yeah, you use your action to dash.
Because if I do that, I can I would like to put myself in between the monster and Sergei. But then that's all I got.
Yeah, you do feel you feel the pull of something in your pack
Oh yeah,
drawing you in.
I do have that, don't I? Based on what I did to the bucket, would I know at least a minimum distance for it to be effective?
You have played with this thing all at once. I would say you probably have no idea, but you can give it a shot.
All right. Okay. Okay. Grimble
You can also move. You know, you can take the basic move action.
Yeah.
Try to get as close as you can.
Yeah, that would be 25 feet, so I'd be like halfway there.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay, Grimble, kind of focus on Sergey and the group. Seeing Sergey take several hits, is going to trust the sailors and Vandionis to dispatch the other ones. He's going to run towards the creature 25 feet, and he's screaming the whole way, just kind of like screaming, trying to get the creature's attention, or at least to let everyone know, you know, I'm here. And all right, here it goes. He will pull out the wand he got from the abandoned cellar. He will aim it at the beast, and he will just say, "Magic on!"
Spell.
Exactly.
Yeah. Why don't you give me a spell attack?
Okay, that
Ranged spell attack.
Huh, funnily enough, I don't. Oh, I see it. Yes. Okay, so spell attack. Okay. Yes. All right, here we go. Range.
You should have a decent spell attack bonus.
Yep.
Being a caster and all.
Decent. I mean, decent with the roll. I mean, that's a 12.
That is what you needed.
Okay. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. So
Don't you love the long
yeah, no,
pause?
yeah, no, pause. Pauses are a man's best friend. Yeah, so arc of lightning, arc goes towards the creature, and something happens.
Yeah. So like before with the bucket, a bolt of lightning strikes out and hits the big furry yeti squarely in the chest, and the lightning kind of like pulls you together, tethering you to this creature, and it will take. Hold on.
Grimble is like wide-eyed watching all of this happen, and he goes, "I did it! I'm doing it! What am I doing?"
Yes. Pause for dramatic effect. Pause while I look up the spell. Ooh,
Oh,
that's a
is that?
good one.
Oh, boy.
You deal 11 points of lightning damage
Okay. Okay.
at this Yeti, and it like it's you're just consistently shocking it, and it kind of drops to one knee, and it's like swiping at the air to try to get to you, and then after a second or two of struggling, collapses forward
Ooh, okay.
into the snow.
Oh, so it has collapsed, has it?
Has collapsed indeed.
Oh. Is the lightning still tethering us together?
The lightning has ceased.
Okay. Just as a final thing for Grimble, the lightning disappears. He stares at the wand, and his eyes. Normally, his bushy brows kind of conceal his eyes. Now they're just like discs of amazement, and he goes, "It's not a tractor beam or a laser. It's a Tesla coil." I don't know if that's even a thing they have in your world, but
Well, yeah, there's not a Nikola Tesla in the
right.
in my world, but you know, it's a fun statement in either way, from an inventive minded gnome.
What's Tesla mean? I don't even know that name. From here on out, I dub it Tesla coil.
Very cool. All right. With that, that is your turn. The sailors are going to act now. There are two remaining assailants. The small little guys. They're just little guys. Okay, one will hit and a one will miss. So let's say the one that you sent them to dispatch is gone. There is just the one that was fighting Vandionus left.
Mhm.
And with that, it is Sergei's turn, who is going to, because he has uno hit pointo, will probably use some sort of healing spell on himself.
I punch myself,
imagine.
1 damage.
Cure wounds is what he will do. So that is. See, look at this. I'm trying to keep your character alive, Austin. So
How often does a
grateful.
DM say that?
all right. Spellcasting ability modifier. Boy, I wish I knew what that. Oh, there it is. +3. So okay, that's 8 hit points back. So Sergei is back up to 9 out of 10. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself.
Yes.
And Vandionus, let's see if he can finish what
Yep.
he definitely started.
Get one decent swing. That's not a good pause.
I rolled it again.
Ah.
It's a 3 for the second time.
Okay.
Same dice too.
I'm gonna have to give that boy some sword swinging lessons. I don't even.
I think he really just needs like a squeezable Go-Gurt or something.
Yeah.
You know, some energy.
Would you like the pizza lunchable or the ham lunchable?
Pizza.
Good choice.
All right. That creature will go. You notice that it is as resilient and fervent in its attack as it was at the beginning. It doesn't seem to be phased by being alone.
Okay.
And it will hit Vandionus for 2 damage.
All right.
It's enough to like, it swipes at him with a hand axe and gets him kind of in the midsection, and he stumbles back and kind of drops to a knee. Grimble, if you would be so kind.
All right. Grimble, having just witnessed this and is kind of very much enthralled with the thing that he has found, he'll take he'll take 25 feet back to his back to where he ran to, towards the last combatant, and he will I'll just say this is what happens. I don't know if it'll actually happen, but he basically says,
Young sir, I would suggest you duck Tesla coil!
And he tries to cast it again.
You attempt to cast it and launch your wand out forward, and just a few sparks come out at the end.
Oh. Well, that's embarrassing, isn't it? For the record, this is only the 3rd time I've used this thing.
Is there would that eat my action?
No, I'm not gonna say it eats your action.
All right. All right. Yeah, Old Faithful crossbow bolt. Just towards the last little creature. Much. Wow, Grimble. 21.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that hits, yeah.
And not...
They're not wearing, like, dragon plate.
No, I know, but it's like, I don't think I've rolled below double digits on these hits. And with a 7 damage.
7 damage? Okay. That is enough. Yeah. So, you crossbow, like, it's like grinning and giggling as it kind of approaches Vandionus. It's sort of doing like a little bit of a skip with its hand axe in his hand,
It's
and
toddler.
a crossbow bolt to the face ceases its excitement.
Mhm.
Um, and you are out of combat. The snow swirls around as kind of these corpses lay strewn. You lost 2 sailors in the process. Um, Estelle seems to be gripping an arm where she was clawed by the large yeti,
Mhm.
and uh, her husband is like tending to her. Um,
Mhm.
and Theodore's like, "I told you, this desolate wasteland would be the death of us all."
Well, I certainly would not invite more danger like that, but I think we handled ourselves well enough. As he looks over to the 2 dead sailors, it's a it's a shame. Young sir, and he goes to Van Dionis just to give him a quick once over, just make sure he's all right.
Yeah. Um, his biggest wound seems to be his pride. No, his biggest wound's still the gash that he
Oh, yeah.
is suffering from. But yes, behind that, his pride is very hurt. He's got a slash across his chest,
Mhm.
and it'll just become another of the numerous battle scars that kind of line his body.
Mhm.
Uh, he's like, I would have had him um, in another hit,
I hate to told you so. And
but you're gonna do it anyway, old Grimby.
well, I have lived significantly longer, I think. No, of course I have. What am I talking about? Here you go. And he'll just do some I won't spend the slot, but I'll just say he does like rudimentary first aid.
Sure, yeah, patches him up, puts a bandage on him,
Mhm.
sprays some Neosporin.
There you go. Now, what did we learn from this experience, young sir?
Not to rush ahead.
Not to rush ahead. Very good. Oh, there is yeah, once we're all sort of put back together and the wounded have been looked after, um Grimble would like to go investigate the body of the big beast to
Yeah,
see if he can still find any sign of that rune or that
sure.
magic thing.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Okay.
I'll say this has advantage because you know roughly where you're looking.
Okay. Investigation with advantage. Okay, that is where's investigation? There it is. That is a 12.
12. Yeah, so you kind of have to turn this creature over. You need the sailors to come over and help you because it's still very large and you are but a small man. Um, and once it's kind of like flopped over onto its back, you look and like kind of collarbone is a what looks to be a brand of some sort, and it's no longer glowing, but it is kind of it's sort of got like a dark black purple coloration on the skin, almost as if it wasn't burned on, it was frostbitten on.
Okay.
And it is shaped like a crown
Like a crown.
with
A-
3 points.
As Grimble investigates that, and he he's taking notes again, and he draws that symbol in his notebook. And as he does it, he just sort of gets a little shiver down his spine, remembering the dream he had the first
Mm.
night they landed.
Yes, the dream for the viewers who are
Yes.
not familiar, where he saw a crown seated upon a giant empty throne. And it is a 3 pointed crown, and it has 3 sockets that are emptied where gemstones should be.
Mhm. Yeah, he'll say, I don't know if anyone noticed, but it seemed like those creatures didn't have a mind of their own, or if they did, it had long since been taken away. This brand, though, Captain, you wouldn't know what a three-pointed crown means in these parts, would you?
Uh, no idea. Um, the only thing I know that those little guys, they kind of fought like goblins a little bit, but they didn't run like they ought to when they got outnumbered. That struck me as might strange.
Precisely my point. Normally, goblinoids of those kinds would run, but that last one, it fought like a maniac. Well, I suggest we keep an eye out for any more of these strange symbols. I just kind of exchange a look with Sergey. Well, I wouldn't know that he had the same dream, would I? Or
I believe you discussed it at least a little bit. You both woke up kind of at the same time, having experienced it, and he was in it with you.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So, um, you know, we weren't like 100% sure it was a shared dream while it was happening, but after it was over, you're like, you were in the stream, and I think you had it too.
Okay.
So you kind of conveyed that, I believe at least.
Yeah.
It was right at the end of our first session. So
Yeah, so Grimble will just exchange a wary look. Not quite sure he should tell anyone about the dream, but at least they know that, this crown means more than what it seems.
yeah. And okay, so that's the end of the combat encounter. There you guys will just kind of continue on until you return to or reach redemption for the first time. I see that it is currently 15-17 after. Did you want to pause here, Austin? Okay. It's giving me the thumbs up now.
Yeah.
All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that sounded like a really fun session. That was awesome. I've been putting some things in the chat. We had a pretty good turnout on X and a few people on Twitch. We are shifting towards we're scaling the sessions back just a little bit. Gavin is keeping the same schedule, but I'm pausing the Samurai's Equipment campaign for the time being. We're gonna just keep going with the community streams during that time, and we're gonna kind of bide our time a little bit on some other fronts, getting some more members and stuff before we transition back to D&D in full swing. And that said, we plan on continuing to offer it as long as Gavin is available, or I can step in on a monthly basis for the time being. So that's kind of where we're at. And let me throw another link in for those of you watching at home. You can participate in the D&D stream. It's not just about watching. You can also play. Let me throw that link in the chat here.
Yep. Chris just signed up for it, so that's all you have to do is just click the link and join the campaign.
And come meet Grimble in all his crazy gnominess.
And we have another player, a newcomer, next month. And I don't think, Chris, you've signed up for that one yet. You said maybe your Tuesdays are starting to get busy.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. We'll see. Yeah.
Okay. And we will continue marketing that and get some more people for that next one too. Other than that, we've got Tiana's workshop on Saturday. We're still filling up seats for that one. And I'll throw that in the chat for you guys. I already put it in the chat for the others. Let's see. There we go. So check that out, and I guess that's about all I got. Thank you, as always, Gavin, for the amazing job you do as a game master. And any parting thoughts?
If you guys like hearing my voice, and you wanted to hear it more, I do a podcast. It's mostly it is tabletop role playing. We kind of pre-record things, so it's not as off the cuff. It's a little bit more polished. I do some post-production. I put some music to it, but it's set in like science fiction. So the first season was like a cyberpunk run through, and season 2 we're kind of doing like a space odyssey sort of thing. So if you like that, it's called Roll Warriors. It's wherever you can find podcasts. It's on Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, Pandora.
And I threw that Podbean link into the chat for the people
Yes.
watching the stream.
So you can check that out. There's like 80 episodes, so hundreds of hours of listening to me talk. Once again, if you like that, that's the sort of thing you're into.
All right. Well, thanks again, gentlemen, for joining us, and until next time.
Absolutely. Thank you both.
Peace out.